Good evening, everyone. I first want to start off by saying thank you to Charlie, Pearl, Henry, and Fifi for that amazing introduction. I also would like to extend my thanks to Ms. Hardy and the Chapel Council for their time and efforts to make this all happen. Finally, I would like to thank my parents for making it here today and continuing to support me in all of my endeavors. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aaliyah Almeida, or you might have heard actually everyone on campus call me AA. This is the part where I usually introduce myself, but in this case, I think the best way to introduce myself would be to introduce my mother instead. Sarah Emerson was raised for the majority of her youth living in Vermont. She was a small-town girl who had it far from easy, spending her youth helping to raise her two little brothers while working to eventually leave Vermont. At the ripe age of 18, my mom packed up her car with everything she had and moved by herself to Waterbury, Connecticut. Shortly after, she found herself pregnant with yours truly. This is the point where her life changed forever. Without help or acknowledgement from my biological father, she was left on a crazy 18-year ride by herself. She was just starting her journey to discovering herself, but was also met with the challenge of supporting another human being in the process. Truly, I was a blessing in disguise as I forced her to grow up quickly. Now, all of her life decisions affected both of us. From that point forward, my mom has led her life for me and has made every single decision with me in mind. She truly is the reason I am the strong person I am today, because we are essentially the same person. By introducing her, I am introducing myself. Mom, I just want to say you're the light of my life, and all you have done for me has not gone unnoticed. I forever am in debt to you for the unlimited sacrifices and effort that you have put into my growth as a human being. If it was not for you, I would not be standing here today. With that being said, throughout my mom and I's journey, we found ourselves in Home Sweet Home, Jersey, where she met the man who sits as my father today. Peter Garcia is the smartest, most driven, and most hardworking person I know. He pushes me every day to be the greatest, and without him, my mom and I would be lost on this journey in life. These two are the reasons why I've been able to get up every morning for the last 4 years and making it to walking across the stage in just 10 days. As some of you may know, my time at Millbrook has been far from easy. If there was an award for someone who hated Millbrook the most at some point, I would definitely win. Charlie could tell you how I counted down every school day, every open weekend, along with any other leaves on a bulletin board in our room freshman year. My transition to Millbrook from my hometown was something that was extremely hard for me. Along with leaving behind my parents, I felt as though I was also leaving behind my life as I knew it. I was friends with the same friends since elementary school. We did the same things, dressed the same, ate the same foods, and we were all essentially almost the same person. There's no denying that most of you in this room have little in common with me, despite the fact that we both attend the same school. Coming from a community where I related with everyone to a place where I didn't was a huge battle I fought within myself. During my freshman and sophomore year, I was so focused on being at home, I honestly couldn't even tell you many memories from that time period. I struggled to find the balance between my home life and life at school. I quickly realized that who I was at home could not be who I was at Millbrook. This caused me to tune everyone out and push away even some of my closest friends who have stood by my side throughout these 4 years. Even though they tried, I still felt they simply didn't understand me because they weren't exactly like me. I was so tied up in what was going on at home that I wasn't giving myself a chance to indulge in the community right in front of me. I became an angry person because I felt confined to who I was as a person. Code switching between school and home became physically exhausting. I was too white when I got home from school and too rowdy when I would return from home. The reality is, I'm forced to be a different person everywhere I go, adjusting based on the people I'm around, and this became a concept I continued to struggle with throughout my underformer years. The school did not make it any easier when I first arrived at Millbrook, and I often felt like I was slipping through the cracks at points. I have been mistaken for multiple different students of color, even until this day, despite being the only female of color in my grade. I felt unseen at points and often felt like I was on my own. The only time I ever did feel seen was on the school's social media pages and other images advertised in the Millbrook media. Things like this only made me push myself away further, as I felt at points I was simply a statistic. My plan was to just do what I came here for, get through these 4 years excelling in my schoolwork, getting into a good college, and getting the hell out. However, in my junior year, I decided to take a turn for myself. I had just become dorm leader, so I knew I had to really integrate myself into the community. I found myself leaving the dorm every night, actually talking to new people, and hanging out with my friends on campus 24/7. I even made it to the point where I would not go home on open weekends and stay with my friends instead. If you would have told freshman year me that, I would have told you that you were delusional. This ultimately has been one of the better decisions I've made for myself. My time at school began to feel meaningful and more than my schoolwork. Although there still have been bumps in the road along the way, by getting out of my comfort zone and actually allowing people to know who I truly was, I was also allowing myself to feel like this was a place where I actually wanted to be, not just a place I tolerated. We are approaching the final days of the 2022-2023 school year, and with only a few days left on campus, I have been able to reflect on my time and growth as an individual throughout my years here. Despite my troubling start, Millbrook has enlightened me on so many things in the world. For one, code switching is not something that stops here, and is not something that only lives at Millbrook. This is something that will follow me throughout college and even throughout my professional career as well. Millbrook simply gave me the foundation I needed to learn that at a young age. Although at one point I may have thought Millbrook needed me, I honestly needed Millbrook. I needed it in the ways that it showed me another part of life, and myself for that matter, that I didn't know existed. Without Millbrook, I would have never met some of my lifelong best friends and experienced our time at Sway. There would be no spraying pro with my water bottle freshman year when she wouldn't leave me alone, and Charlie wouldn't be here to annoy me every step of the way. And worstly, there would be no Miss Peterson. Lindsay knows me better than I know myself at times, and truly is one of the only faculty members here I can say truly gets me. She truly is my mom on campus, my biggest supporter, and one who has always believed in me no matter what. Without Millbrook, I truly don't know where I would be today. This place is far from easy to overcome, but graduating from Millbrook will forever be one of the proudest moments of my life. If you take anything from this, what I hope you take from this is to don't just let time pass by. I hold so much regret in not integrating myself into the community quicker and frequently think of all the additional memories I could have made dwelling on the past. It is often easy to watch time go by, and before you know it, your time is up. Time is a precious, limited resource that we can never get back once it's gone. Things in life will always change. You'll lose that friend you thought was going to be there forever, experience life tragedies, and even make dumb mistakes. All focusing on the negative of the past does is take away from the positive, endless possibilities that the future holds. It is so important to use our time wisely and make the most of it, because no matter what ups and downs you endure, life is never promised. I am so grateful for the memories that Millbrook School has given me, along with all of the lessons that it has taught me. Thank you.